What are your thoughts on hypoglycemia? This is JJ Virgin, 4-time New York Times bestselling author, celebrity nutrition expert, and fitness Hall of Famer. I've been on a lifelong quest for answers to the toughest health questions. And now I'm sharing what I found with you. Welcome to Ask the Health Expert. Aunt D. Flip from Instagram asks, what are your thoughts on hypoglycemia? I've had Hashimoto's for 10 years. I've reduced my TPO antibodies from 600 to 67 since starting the paleo shakes and going dairy-free 2 years ago. I love that. Yay, you. My doctor said my lab work repeatedly shows me being hypoglycemic. I follow the sugar impact diet, so just curious how I can be more successful while fighting off these frequent urges to eat something. Great question. Lots of thoughts there. I will be right back to answer the questions. Stay with me. Turmeric has been used in cooking by traditional cultures for years for its health benefits, especially for its anti-inflammatory effects due to the active ingredient curcumin. Now you can get those benefits deliciously in a mango nectarine fruit chew that has 100 milligrams of curcumin, which means just one a day gives you an effective dose and a little treat too. You'll actually look forward to taking your supplements. And because you're a listener, you get 10% off your purchase while supplies last. Just go to jjvirgin.com/chew and put in the code CHEW, all in caps, at checkout. All right. So hypoglycemia. So first of all, let's define hypoglycemia so you know what the heck it is. It's low blood sugar. And it occurs when the level of sugar, glucose in your blood drops below normal. So that's generally considered if it goes below 70. However, it's interesting. I have a girlfriend, Dr. Rita Marie Lascalzo. I love the way she talks about blood sugar. You might want to check her out. I did a podcast with her about this. It's just incredible. She talks about functional blood sugar testing. She finds that she feels fine at 65. So first off, I love the way she does functional blood sugar testing where you get and now you can get this, get yourself a continuous blood sugar monitor and start to watch yourself and see how you feel. Because the first thing I want to know, Aunt, is are you really hungry or is it Pavlovian? Have you trained yourself to be hungry? So that's the first thing. Now, if you have elevated blood sugar and elevated insulin and you cannot access stored fat for fuel, then you may legitimately be hungry. If you're having any of those symptoms of hypoglycemia, irritated, clammy, shaky, etc., same thing. But what we can do is watch your functional blood sugar and start to see how your body responds to the different foods you're eating. I mean, that's the ultimate sugar impact diet, right? Checking that. And where you tend to be at fasting. There's another great test that you can do, and that's the glucose and insulin tolerance test. And that is where you take a bolus of glucose and then your body, first you do a blood sugar and insulin test, then you drink this glucose mix, and then you get tested every hour for 2 to 3 hours to see how your body reacts to that, what's going on both with blood sugar and insulin, because they should track together. So that's the other thing that you can do to look at this to see what is going on and where your issues are. But again, functionally, if you're watching through a continuous blood sugar monitor and you can start to see if different foods are impacting you and what you need to do, that could be super helpful too. Here's a couple important things that help. Number one, make sure fiber is your super duper friend here because it slows down the blood sugar response to a meal. So we want to make sure that a meal is low sugar impact in terms of carbs. So that's things that are more non-starchy vegetables, wild rice, squashes for your carbohydrates with some protein and some healthy fats and loads of fiber. That will slow down the blood sugar response. Other things that can help with that, vinegar is super helpful here. In fact, vinegar can operate like the drug metformin to sensitize your insulin receptors. So this is pretty amazing. So vinegar with your meal, lemon juice before your meal lowers the blood sugar response to the meal. Cinnamon with your meal can help with balancing blood sugar as well. And none of these things are icky things. I mean, like use more vinegar on your salad. You can even just throw a little apple cider vinegar and water and drink it before the meal. Or lemon juice. That's my preferred way to do it. A little lemon juice before a meal and then using some vinegar with olive oil for your meal and then adding a little cinnamon on whatever you like to put your cinnamon on, maybe a little blueberries or something. So that's the first thing that you can do. The next thing that you can do is make sure that you've got the nutrients on board that are really important for blood sugar regulation and insulin sensitivity. What are those, you ask? I'm glad you did. Magnesium, zinc, vanadium, chromium are all super important here. Other things that can help stabilized are lipoic acid and fish oil. Fish oil can help resensitize your insulin receptors. And super key critical here, vitamin D. I know I talk a ton about vitamin D and its importance in the immune system, but vitamin D3 taken with K1 and K2, really important here for improving insulin sensitivity. Now, lifestyle things that are critical here. Sleep. One poor night of sleep and you're more insulin resistant the next day. So getting a good quality sleep night after night is super important. The next thing beyond sleep is stress. Stress is going to raise your blood sugar. So I know, it's one of those things is like, don't stress. It's like, ha, ha, ha. We're living in a world crazy right now with stress. So what you're going to have to do is change your ability to handle stress. So I'm going to do a couple shout outs. One is to my buddy, Nick Ortner. He has in the App Store, the Tapping Solution app. It is free. So you can use that. Tapping lowers stress hormones by 27%. There's not a drug or medication that does that. And it's free. And then the other one is Ziva meditation with my girlfriend, Emily Fletcher. That is another great thing. And then, of course, some high intensity interval training can train your sympathetic nervous system to handle stress better. So dealing with stress, getting good sleep. Next one there that is really important is doing resistance exercise. That's one of the easiest ways to improve insulin sensitivity quickly is at the level of the muscle. And you can do that with resistance exercise. And then you'll also get the benefit of looking better too. How much do we like that? Let me just make sure I've covered everything. Oh, one other thing here, and kind of you can tell if you have an issue with blood sugar. Is are you able to go 4 to 6 hours between meals with steady, sustained energy? Or do you all of a sudden 2 hours after eating, you get shaky and irritable, etc.? You should literally be able to go, did I eat today? That's where you want to be. That shows that you're able to be a fat burner and not a sugar burner. And then the other thing that you want to look at is, can you do a 12-hour overnight fast? Stop eating, at least 3 hours before bed, wake up and go an hour before you need to eat in the morning or so. And then, are you able to drop belly fat? If you can't lose belly fat, if you're hungry every 2 to 3 hours, if you can't go to bed without having a snack and waking up first thing and eating, then that's another sign that there's an issue here. You're not able to use stored fat for fuel. You're more of a sugar burner. And all of these things I just talked about will help you make that shift. That's all within the Sugar Impact Diet. This is JJ with Ask the Health Expert. I do this 5 times a week, so make sure you never miss a show by going to subscribetojj.com.